All right. I'm Brendan Smith, Assistant Director of Career Services here at Region, and we have a guest with us today. This is Mike from Piedmont Fellows. And Mike, tell me a little bit about your organization here and what brings you here today.
Yeah, we are a professional development program for recent college graduates, and our hope is that we can help recent college graduates start well in all of life to the glory of Christ. And so we really approach discipleship holistically with a professional focus. And so I'm here to hopefully meet some potential juniors, seniors who are looking to begin their career.
And it's a really cool opportunity from what Mike was telling me. So if you're a business-oriented or communications-oriented senior looking for a job, this kind of opportunity gives you housing, mentorship, food, everything you need to get started strong, and regular follow-up with leadership. But Mike has a presentation he's going to share with us, and so you can go through the recording, see what it looks like, and his contact information is available in CareerLink as well. Just look up Piedmont Fellows, P-I-E-D, wait, how's it spelled?
P-I-E-D-M-O-N-T, and then Fellows, F-E-L-L-O-W-S.
Perfect. Or it's Mike Gatton. You can search him up as an employer. So Mike, I'm going to go ahead and share your screen.
Yeah.
And this is how Zoom works. We use this a lot with employers. It's a great program. So let's go here to share screen. Is there sound with your presentation or any videos?
No sound. No sound. We are old school here.
Cool. Actually, yeah, here we go. Share our screen. Go here. And play from the start.
All right, very cool. And so this is our inaugural class here. We have Lena Neal, Josh Simmons, Sarah Mims there in the front, and then Nick Purdy, Dustin Deal, and Sam Collins there in the back, along with myself. And so they are the ones really trailblazing for us this year. And so
cool. Was this your first year with the program?
This is our first year. So it's been a neat class to work with.
And your group is out of North Carolina.
We're in the Piedmont Triad region of North Carolina, which is the heart of the state. We're really a suburb of Greensboro. And so right there in that Piedmont Triad region, it's really consists of Greensboro, High Point, and Winston-Salem.
Cool.
So, yeah, that metro market has 1.6 million people in it. And, there's a lot to offer, but it's also a really good place to begin a career and start a family and different things like that.
For our online students who might be in other areas, similar versions of this program, it's my understanding, are offered in other areas as well.
There are. And so we're a part of a larger network called the Fellows Initiative, and they are spread across the country. And so we have some information on the TFI network, and would love to connect you with other areas if you're in those regions as well.
Cool.
Yeah. So what we've got here to start off with is really our mission. And so our mission is to equip young professionals to love and good works to the glory of Christ. And we want to do this in all of life. And we want to think about leadership being not just one-dimensional, but leadership in the workplace, leadership in the church, leadership in the home. And so how can we take what you're learning on Sunday, what it is that you're learning in your Bible study, and really beginning to apply it to everything that you're involved with in your life. And another big aspect of our program is helping our fellows understand and experience that their work matters, that their work glorifies God, and that God created and redeems through work, and that we get to participate in that. And so it's not simply missionaries or people doing different types of outreaches or nonprofits who have to do meaningful work, but we believe that everyone has meaningful work. And so we really want to help people understand that God's designed them to work and gifted them in different areas, and it's a beautiful thing to work in different areas. And that's a big thing that we help our fellows understand and experience. So that's a big thing overall. And then here are some of our pictures, some of the things that we experienced throughout the year. And so we'll have different snapshots of the year in and out of the slides. But here are some of the things that our area has to offer. And so some of the things that we do, we eat a lot together, we serve a lot together, we travel, and get to experience really the East Coast of North Carolina, and so, or East Coast of the United States, really. So these are some of the things that we participate in as well. And a big drumbeat that we have is developing 4 rhythms of life and helping to develop a habit so that once people complete our program, that these areas are natural, that these are things that they do second nature. And so we work through work, Sabbath, service, and study. And so work in the professional side of things is a really big component of our program. Also, Sabbath and having a balance there. For college students, we find that often Sabbath is a foreign concept. And so for many of you guilty of that, we want to work that into your schedule and help you experience healthy rest in the Lord and honor and worship Him. Set aside a day to rest in His creation and to experience good Lord's Day as well. We also want our fellows to be in a habit of service, and so our fellows work or serve 6 to 10 hours a week with a local ministry. That could be with our church's youth ministry. It could be with an organization called Youth for Christ. There's also a refugee population in our area, college ministries, whatever it is the Lord's tugging on your heart to serve. We want to give you an opportunity, but we do want our fellows to work in that habit of service regularly throughout the week. And the last thing is study. We take theology classes and we do professional development reading, different leadership and professional development opportunities to learn. And we want our fellows to be lifelong learners so that once you escape college, so to speak, that you don't leave your books and your studies behind you, but the Lord is continuing to mold you and shape you. And we want you to take a posture of being a lifelong learner as well. And so we work that into the program as well. And here's a week at a glance for the life of a fellow. And it's set up where the beginning of our week is set aside to worship. And we worship at Friendly Hills Church. And they are a loving community, good, solid teaching and preaching. And just people who are going to really care and invest in you. And so these are where our mentors and our host homes come from. And we go to Sunday school together at the 9:15 hour, and then we worship together until it's about 12 o'clock. And so that's the tone of our week. That's how we start and worship together. And then Monday through Thursday, it is devoted to work. And our fellows work 29 hours a week for $12 an hour. And those are professionally geared jobs. And we want that to be an experience to where it's not just a internship, but it's really getting to understand the corporate culture, taking on tasks and responsibilities that are really going to help mold and shape you and set the trajectory of your career. Outside of that time, we have a family dinner on Tuesday evenings, and that's a really enjoyable time. We eat a meal together, and we have some spiritual formation and spiritual disciplines that work through that. And so thinking through different things like time management so that I can use my time to honor the Lord, developing a prayer schedule so that you can pray for people and love on them through laboring in prayer, relational evangelism, just different topics that we want to think through as believers so that we have a well-rounded life and that we're pursuing sanctification during that. And then on Friday, we have our class day, and that'll be a theology class. And so in the fall, we'll take a class that is geared towards understanding the Gospels. It'll be an introductory course, but introductory does not mean easy or simple. So we want to study the context of the gospel narrative, look through different things, and really approach it so that we can be nourished through God's word. And then in the spring, we're going to do a class on the English Puritans and their theology. And we're going to piggyback that class with a trip to London. And so a chance to serve internationally, but also to make some connections there with some of the doctrine that we'll be learning during that class. And then outside of that time is a time of development and service. We pair our fellows with mentors. They volunteer 6 to 10 hours a week. You will have some reading. And so Saturday is usually a good day to do that, but often we have people who like to travel, do different things. The beach, the mountains are relatively close by, and so it gives you an opportunity to explore the lay of the land as well. So here's some of the things that we've done. There's one of our service opportunities that we had at the beginning of the year. Our spiritual disciplines time is seen in there, and then one of our trips that we recently took on to serve as well. So just some more highlights, and then some of the things that we do to help you develop in a leadership position are giving you opportunities to serve with that ministry. And so taking on leadership roles, that could look like preparing Bible studies, giving talks or presentations, doing different outreach, some of the behind the scenes work, and in front. We'll do presentations on Fridays. And so when we have our theology classes, after that time, we have a business speaker come in, and they will share different things about how they lead in the marketplace. So it could be simple things like negotiating a salary, work-life balance, financial planning for yourself, managing people around you, working in team dynamics. And so we want to touch on those different things as well to help you develop as a leader and a professional. And then after that time, we're going to have our fellows share their experience with one another. And so it's also a peer development opportunity where you get to share what it is that you're doing so that the fellows around you are learning what it is that you do and the different ways that you are growing and developing. And so that's one aspect. And then we also have executive coaching through leadership systems. And we really want to help you learn how it is that the Lord's wired you, help you see how He's gifted you so that you can steward your gifts well. And this year we've taken the DISC, the Highlands Ability Battery, Strength Finders, Viro B. We learned the SBI model and the Master Coaching model. And these are just great ways to understand yourself and to live out of your giftedness. We really want to take advantage of the ways the Lord has developed His body so that we can make the most of that.
It sounds like the fellows come from all over. And
they do.
Wow, so all over the country.
Yeah. So this year we've got 3 fairly local people from North Carolina and 3 from Virginia. In this next year's recruiting class, people who have applied to the program are range from Virginia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Africa, Iowa, Tennessee, and so it's a good mix, and you get to meet people with different backgrounds all across the country, or even internationally, so to speak. So it's really neat to see that type of community and what you can learn from one another, and what our fellows really contribute to the group. It's not always a one-way street of being simply poured into, but our fellows have something to offer one another in the church and the community. And so we really want them to flourish where we are.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So here are some of our coaching and leadership development times that are recorded with leadership systems there. So some of that is career coaching, learning different assessments, seeing how they're wired, and then going through the training so that you understand the assessments, that you're not just taking them and seeing that you're a high SC in the DISC profile, but really understanding what that means as well. And so we take time to walk through that.
That's awesome. That's a lot of what we do here at Career Services.
Yeah.
The more you understand yourself, the more you understand how you can best, your creative function.
Certainly. Yeah. And it's so huge. We can easily discredit that. And then we do professional development. And so this has a different tone to it, but you get a professional paid position, and our fellows work for 29 hours a week at $12 an hour with a company. Outside of that time, we have weekly readings. And so some of those books that we go through are Tim Keller's Every Good Endeavor, Spiritual Leadership.
I was here working in the marketing department.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a good book.
Oh, phenomenal book. Spiritual Leadership by J. Oswald Sanders, and then The Integrated Life by Ken Eldred. And so these are great books helping lay a foundation of leadership, of vocation, and really how does faith and work play together? How do we understand that?
And what kind of companies did the students get to work at?
Yeah, so I do have a slide of some of those companies. Oh, cool. So I'll bring those up, give you, for some of you visual people there, so you can see some of the companies that we work with and some of the job opportunities. So yeah, that'll come up here in a minute. So I won't play any spoilers right now. But some of the other things that we do is the monthly professional development, and that's with a man named Don Barefoot. And so Don is the former president and CEO of the C12 Group. And so the C12 Group is a monthly board of peers who are followers of Christ. They are business owners and CEOs, and they come together from non-competing markets. They advise one another and really think through ways to honor Christ through their organizations and their companies. And so Don oversaw that, and he is sharing his wisdom and really helping us think through different things like developing our resume and telling our story through that, of managing and motivating people, thinking as an executive, bringing value to your company. And so we just get phenomenal content with Don, and that's another time where you get another meal, and then we get fed well. And then we bring in a business speaker each week on the Friday after that theology class. And so we want you to be exposed, to network, to learn, to ask questions, and really investigate these different areas where the Lord has blessed us. And to see that there are plenty of opportunities to honor Him through your vocation. So those are some of the people and some of the things that we read as well. And so here's some of our different development opportunities. Some of those are from going over to the Barefoots with our professional development. Some of that is leadership systems. You see some of our fellows at work. And then we also visited the Business High Point Chamber of Commerce. And so opportunities to network and learn there as well are abound. So we want to get our fellows in front of these individuals. And so here's what you were asking for. So here are some of the businesses that we've worked with this past year and are looking forward to working with next year. And so the type of jobs that we're looking for primarily are in the accounting, administration, business, communications, finance, IT, computer science, marketing, those sides of things. And these are the businesses that have partnered with us and are showing very strong interest in working with our fellows. And so we've been really blessed to have great business partners who don't simply want to have someone who fulfills a task, but they really care about the whole person. Our business partners want to know the different things that our fellows are reading. They want to know about some of the things that they are learning from these other business owners. They want to be involved and to participate in the Fellows program as a whole. And so it's been a real blessing to have these companies, and many of them have believers in the higher ranks of these organizations. And so to see how they are being salt and light in their organization, to really love and serve their coworkers, but really to produce a good quality service or product while loving people well, is a huge encouragement to see. And so these are just a few of the people that we're really honored to work with as well.
So definitely good work environments and representing various professional industries.
Yes. And so, yeah, it's we like partnering with them, and they like partnering with us. So, yeah.
And the fellows seem to enjoy the jobs they're doing.
Yeah. We are learning through that. And so this is a big reason why we began to hone in on some of those majors in these areas of disciplines. And so those are the type of jobs that are more prevalent in our area. And they're also, once we begin to find a specific major or discipline with those job opportunities, we're seeing better fits, make better long-term fits, and higher job satisfaction. And so, and so that's been really cool to see how some of those fits have worked. And our employers have asked our fellows to work more as well. And so, we have a few fellows who are negotiating full-time job offers right now with their employers. And all that's really exciting to see, is that it can be a 10-month program, but there's really an opportunity for this to be a good career beginning for you, and to find an organization and a company that cares for you and wants to help you start well in your career as well. So, yeah. And then our community, Friendly Hills Church, is our home church. And so it's not a huge church. It's about 250 members or so. And so it gives you an opportunity to get to know the people across the church who love us and serve us. We have 10 fellows that we're inviting into our program each year. And so there is another sense of community that our fellows experience. We pair our fellows with a mentor who they meet with twice a month. We pair our fellows with a host family. And so you have the opportunity to experience discipleship in the home. And I like to say that discipleship often happens before your first cup of coffee. Huh. And so you really get to see behind the scenes, what does life look like catching discipleship as well. And then we are connected to the national program of the Fellows Initiative. And so there are also 2 other local fellows programs, one in Winston-Salem and one in Greensboro. And so our fellows get to hang out with those classes, experience the area together. We recently went on trips with a group from Raleigh and Knoxville. And so we have an intimate community, but also an opportunity to get to know people who are doing something similar, pursuing vocation and faith together across the country, which is really, really neat to see.
And I'm sure you'll mention it later in the presentation, but how do you choose your fellows?
Yeah, so a big thing that we look for is something that is non-negotiable is a relationship with Christ, because we believe that that's how your work is impacted. It really changes your approach completely. And so we're looking for a relationship with Christ. We're looking for someone who is teachable, who has integrity and character, because those are things that if they're not present, it's going to be a frustrating year for the fellow and for us. And so those are the things that we look for as a must. And then we typically look at the major and the career desire. And so that we can help you where we are specialized in that business sector, but also that you're providing a good service to our local employers. And so those are the main areas that we look at, but we have people with different areas of maturity, different theological backgrounds, different experiences, economic situations growing up. And so we think it's a really beautiful thing to blend a lot of those things together. But yeah, I would say this is for someone who's a believer, someone who is a traditional aged recent college graduate. And so the age range of 21, 22 to 25, someone who expresses being teachable, who does have integrity and character. And then we want to bring those soft skills along with that.
Nice.
So yeah. So here's a few pictures of our community, people at church, some of our fellows, and just the different things that we get to experience together.
It seems like a very well thought out and engineered program, and it looks like you all have a lot of fun together as well as just developing professionally.
Yeah, we enjoy one another.
If we go back to the last slide.
Oh yeah.
So is that like host family's house there, and then the activities you did? Or?
Yeah. So this top left is our some of our young adults at the church, and that's some of our fellows, and so the opportunity to build a relationship with the young adults in church, and fellows alumni who stick around at the church, eating a meal together, and so that's where that is. Top right is our pastor, Nathan Klein, and so Nathan's been at Friendly Hills for 8 years. We love his preaching, we love his heart, and he makes some amazing pizza. So that is a great perk from him. Right there in the center is from our orientation retreat. And so we went up to a lake in Clarksville, Virginia, got away, got to know one another, share our testimonies, and really start to lay a foundation of a relationship there. And so bottom left are pictures, bottom left and bottom right are pictures from our Christmas cards. So so those were taken after church one day and sent out to the people who really help us with this community. I mean, there's just so many people who help make this program a phenomenal experience for our fellows, mentors, host homes, professors, teachers, pastors, our board members. I mean, there are so many people behind the scenes. We have people making meals every week for our fellows, opening up their homes. It's just you get to experience radical hospitality in a fellows program like this.
That is cool.
Yes. So we are extremely blessed, and we hope that our fellows see that. I mean, that's a big thing to learn as well. And so about the Piedmont Triad area, it's a really neat place to be. And so you can experience some city. You get to experience some of the nature in the area as well. And so it is not just a concrete jungle either, but we have the Greensboro Grasshoppers, we have the Winston-Salem Dash, and High Point is now on the verge of getting a professional team. There is a minor league basketball team, the Greensboro Swarm, a number of Division I, Division III colleges in the area. So if you're a sports fan, we've got the Greensboro Coliseum, the Aquatic Center, the ACC headquarters are in our area, the Wyndham Golf Championship, the Winston-Salem Tennis Open. And so, there's a lot to experience from the sports ends of things. The High Point International Furniture Market comes twice a year to High Point, and so people from all over the world come there. If you're familiar with the sit-in that happened with UNCG students in the 1960s at the Woolsworth, there's a rich civil rights history in the Greensboro area. And so the Civil Rights History Museum is in downtown Greensboro. We have an international airport. We've got the best burger in America right there in Greensboro. And yeah, we're 3 hours from the beach, 3 hours, well, really hour and a half, 2 hours from the mountains. And then just thinking about a place to really start your life. We've got a really low cost of living relative to the rest of the country. And it's the best metro traffic in the United States. And so driving up here, I've been very thankful
yeah.
For the traffic that we have. And so
wow, you have to look at this place on a map.
So yeah, there's a lot to offer. We're hour and 45 minutes from Charlotte, hour or so away from Raleigh. So there's just a lot to do in the area and to experience there as well. And so yeah, look up the Piedmont Triad, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, High Point. There's plenty to offer. And so here's some of the local beauty that we see there. So you got a couple shots of downtown Greensboro up in the top area. In the middle and bottom right are areas of High Point that we have there. And the bottom left is the ACC headquarters. They've got a museum there, and right in that location is where the aquatic center is, and so they do swimming and diving national championships there. You've got the Greensboro Coliseum itself, which is they nicknamed Greensboro Tournament Town. So yeah, a lot there.
You're really selling this area to this is I'll have to come visit. Wow,
for sure. And so yeah, we've got great networks of people as well around us. And so we have the 5 local C12 groups that I mentioned earlier of CEOs and business owners. There are multiple Rotary groups who have been gracious to reach out to have us come and talk about the fellows. The High Point Chamber of Commerce, over 800 members there, and believers are in leadership there, and so they are very welcoming and wanting to be helpful in helping our fellows find jobs during the program and after the program. And then we have an amazing board who's well connected in our area, and so we're really grateful to have these individuals and these organizations who want to partner and who want to be friends of the Piedmont Fellows. And so here are some of those opportunities of business speakers who have come to share or speaking engagements that we've had to promote the fellows to business owners in the area. And so businesses love fellows, and they want to participate with someone who has high integrity, who is continuing to learn, who's going to experience accountability and training during their time. And it's just been it's been neat to see how these business owners really open up their arms to want to walk alongside these fellows. So here are some of the traveling things that we did this year. So our orientation retreat was in Clarksville, Virginia, and we had a Micah 6-8 conference, and that was with the Fellows Initiative. And so you have a couple of opportunities to meet fellows from across the country. January, we went to Emerald Isle and had a little beach retreat there. We just got back from a mission service trip in Charleston, South Carolina, and then we're going back. I would say we were going to run a 10K, but I think most of us are going to walk that. Yeah, it's just a chance to experience Charleston together. And then we finish this year going to the DC area for the National Fellows Conference. And so there's going to be around 250 other fellows from across the country there. And so you just get to see people who are doing something similar, loving Jesus and entering into the workforce. And then we are, like I said, planning a 2019 international mission trip as well. So all that's included in that $6,500 as well.
Wow.
And so, yeah, here's some of the retreats. places that we've been. Just get to see a little collage of that right there. So yeah, the top right was our we at the Micah 6-8 conference in November. We did a ultimate frisbee tournament, and so we were bad, really bad. So if you're good at ultimate frisbee, this is my recruiting plea to you. We need you. We don't want to be embarrassed again.
Is that part of the application process in this year, I guess?
Yeah, I need video, game film.
You need to make Piedmont Fellows frisbees and then throw them at people on campus and just see who catches it well and responds.
I like your idea there.
Yeah.
As we're looking for people who are teachable and have integrity, actually, ultimate frisbee may be at the top of that list now.
Yeah.
No.
That can reveal a lot.
That can. Yeah. And these are our theology classes that I mentioned earlier, so I won't really spend much time here. And let me see if we've got. So yeah, the cost of the program, $6,500. That includes our travel, the books, leadership systems, and the assessments, professional development, theology classes, the monthly socials that we're going to do, about a third of your meals, and then housing. And so we all wrap that up into that $6,500 over that 10-month time period. And the way that we do some of the payment is if someone applies to our program, you can find our application at www.piedmontfellows.com. Click on the application. It's a PDF fillable form. You send that in along with your resume. And then we do an interview. It'll be a Skype, FaceTime type of interview with people from our admissions committee. And that'll be to help discern if you would be a good fit or not into our program. And once we do that, we would extend an invitation to which this person may, they have 2 weeks to accept our invitation, and then they send in a $500 deposit to secure their spot in the program. And that goes towards your $6,500. And so once you send a $500 deposit, you're looking at $6,000 for the rest of the year. $3,000 of that is due August 20th when our fellows move in 2018. And then the rest of the $3,000 is due in January. So it's not all due up front. Not all due at once. Yeah. And so for seniors who are looking to do the program, we help them think through fundraising strategies. We have support letters that you can edit that make them personal. We have a script. And so if you clam up on the phone while you're calling people, this is for you. And then we even have people who use their, they'll send out graduation invitations and they'll use that towards their.
And that's for the 10-week program, or excuse me, 10-month program.
10 months, yeah. And so, yeah. So we really want to help our fellows be successful in that area as well. And it's amazing to see how the Lord provides, to see the generosity of people can be humbling, and to know what missionaries go through as well, and how they fundraise and can help develop some compassion there for people who are giving to those individuals and have an appreciation for what they're doing. And so it can be an intimidating and humbling process, but we think that's part of the development as well. It's really beneficial.
What a comprehensive program, though. Wow.
So, yeah, that's the end of the presentation that we've got. Is there anything else that you think would be helpful?
Just what are the outcomes usually after the program? Do you maintain contact with any of the fellows? Do they usually end up finding jobs? What happens after? Yeah, we typically see about 50% of the fellows are going to stay on with their employers and stick around in the area, so to speak. And so, yeah, our hope with that is to build up a network in the area, and then for those who go out, to be able to help bring this type of leadership and intentionality to where they are. And so, like I said, we have a few who are negotiating full-time job offers right now with their employers, and it looks like we're going to have
4 or 5 of our class this year out of 6 who are going to stick around in the area as well. And yeah, just to see the heart that people develop in service, the light bulbs that go off when they begin to understand and embrace the fact that their work matters, and then to make connections across the city, to network, to glean wisdom. And so people who are involved in investing in the program want to see our fellows succeed. And so I encourage our fellows to bug all of the business contacts who come whenever we have professional development. Ask as many questions as you possibly can. And yeah, we really see these light bulbs come on. We see people getting job offers and being people who really invest in the area once they experience this type of hospitality.
Well, Mike, thank you so much for taking the time to share about this experience. And it's all right if I share this with Regent students and other people.
Please, I'd be happy for you too.
This will be up on our YouTube page, so people will be able to find it that way. And I'll send it out to our seniors who are in the program. So you're looking to, find fellows who are participating in or interested in finding.
Certainly. Yeah, and we will open up our application process probably this coming October for the following class. And so I would encourage people to begin to think through this as early as possible as well.
All right. Well, I'm going to head back to my computer real quick so I can end the meeting and the recording. But just tell everyone what's the best way, beyond connecting CareerLink, how should people find out more information about this and apply? And if they have any questions, how should they reach out to you?
Yes, and my email is mike@piedmontfellows.com, and that is PIEDMONTFELLOWS.com. You can find me via email there. My number is area code 704-902-3636. And our website is www.piedmontfellows.com. We have a Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn profile, Twitter. And so please connect with us there. And if you send me your email, I can send you a monthly update on the life of the fellows and different things that we're doing there. So,
all right. Well, thank you so much, Mike.
Thank you, Brennan. It's great to be here.